Hi there, and welcome to episode 4, creating content, adding and deleting text, and also copying and pasting that text. So if you remember from episode 3, we had organized our classroom information and into something a little bit more manageable for the students, and we had looked at how to publish items, what that meant versus what it meant for an item to be in draft mode. Draft being something that you can view but the students can't, and published being something that everybody can view. So this is the view that we left you with, and I'm currently looking at my course in student mode. So let's say we've got everything set up, and right now I just want the students to see Unit 1, and so they click on it and they can take a look at their unit, and it should pop up all the content. So let's say the student goes into content and they click on it and they see their lesson here. Now, when the lesson pulls up, it's going to be organized the way the ministry has set it out. So there you go, content, did you know, soft skills, enrichment, all that stuff. Looks pretty neat, and most times we're just going to run with the website the way it is, or this link the way it is. But let's say we don't like it. Let's say, for example, I want to change some of the content in here, delete it, or move around some information. For example, there's a definition there of globalization, and there's another one called soft skills there. And let's say I want to put soft skills and globalization. I want to put those two did you knows together, just as definitions, and maybe change the rest however you want to organize it. I'll show you how to do that. So we'll just go back into the menu, and we have to change our view from student back to the teacher view. So we just click on our name, click the X beside viewing a student, and that'll take us back to the teacher view. Alright, so we're back in teacher view, and I'll click resources, and we'll go to the content. And this should bring us to the content window, and remember I said it's pretty much going to take us where we last left off. So in this case it is Unit 1, and we can see that Unit 1 is published, right? And we can see all the items that we've published and all the rest that are draft, right? So it was content 1 that we wanted to modify. So how we're going to do that is this. We're going to click on this, and it's going to pull up the page. It's going to pull up the content. But in teacher view, we have one last little feature. So if we scroll all the way down to the bottom, scroll, you'll see down at the bottom there are some tables, and over here in edit HTML. Alright, what we'll do is we need to edit this page, and we have to edit HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Okay, won't bore you with the details, but essentially what we're doing is we're editing web pages. And it pulls it up, and it's going to pull it into its own little browser now, or editor, so to speak. So we have here a whole bunch of different features up at the top that we can use to modify the content. What we're going to be concerned with is copying and pasting. So cut, copy, paste, and we're going to take a look at font, size, and color, right? Maybe format. So first thing we want to do is just like we would in a normal browser, content. So here we'll change, all we have to do is just highlight, and we can delete it by pushing delete key or backspace, and we can say content, and we can say welcome to Foundations of Management. Here you will learn ... Okay, you get the picture. So we got that. That's as simple as doing anything there. And we can manipulate this text however we want, and just like we would in Microsoft Word. So we can take Welcome to Foundations of Management. We can change the color of it just by clicking on it, clicking on the color, and it's going to bring up a color-coded list. And let's say I want to make this, so let's make this a magenta. There we go. And we can save that. And all of a sudden, bingo, if you click away from it, Foundations of Management is magenta. And we could do this for any of the items here that have to do with font. So bold, italic, underline. The font family, you can change the font. So we can, change it to, a different font. You saw it change there. Size, so on and so forth. Now, when you edit the text, it would be best if you have it highlighted. All right. So there you go. Copying and pasting. Remember we talked about copying and pasting. Same way you would in, and again, your text editor like Microsoft Word or whatever, WordPerfect, whichever type of text editing program you use. You'd highlight it, and then you'd go and click copy and then paste and so on and so forth. Very similar features. But I'm finding that with our browsers that we have to use the keyboard shortcuts. So if you're using a PC, you're going to be holding down Control-C to copy, Control-X to cut, and Control-V to paste. Now, if you need to write those down, go ahead, write those down. They're fairly standard, and you will be able to use those in any program. They're short keys that you really should know. So let's take a look at this globalization. I don't like that globalization. I like that globalization there, but soft skills, I want to move soft skills up there. So I will take it and I will click up above soft skills. I will drag my cursor down, right, so that it goes there, and I'll release. And what I'm going to do is I am going to cut it. So I'm going to go Control. I'm going to hold down my Control key. I'm going to go Control X. There we go. It deleted. And you see when I deleted it, it moved the text. That's okay. We can just fix that by pushing Enter. And then I want this up here. So I'm going to click. I have to find the right place to click. So I'm going to move this text down a little bit. I'm going to come up one, and I am going to go Control. I am going to type in or hold down my Control key. I'm going to hold down my Control key, and I'm going to hold down V. So Control V, and voila, there it is. I've got my two definitions right beside each other, and of course the did you know is right there. I don't want this did you know, and I just highlight it, push delete, and delete. So that's how you make the modifications. Now we got to save it. So how do we save this? It's not going to save automatically, so we need to push the button to save it. Because if we exit out of here, if we go up to the top of the screen, we close the browser, something happens, we could lose all our changes. So remember, you have to save the content. So we have to go down to the bottom of the page, and that is this little tab over here. Over here, there's two scroll bars, right? So pick the far right scroll bar all the way down to the bottom. And you see down at the bottom it says update, revert to draft, or cancel. Now you can hit update or revert to draft. Either of these will save. When you hit revert to draft, basically it'll take this document and it'll just make it a draft. If you update it, it'll update it and it'll remain live or published. So I'm going to hit update. And the little swirly thing will go around. And it'll ask, it says the file already exists with the name content content.html. So it's asking basically, do we want to create a new file, so basically a new content file, or do we want to overwrite the existing one? Well, we're making modifications here. I'm not particularly concerned about saving my content, the stuff that I've changed, because I've got it the way I like it now. And I will hit overwrite existing file, and I will hit save. And notice the little disclaimer here, saving this change will permanently replace the existing file with your new file. I'm going to hit save. I am not terribly concerned with the losing ministry content, because quite simply we could always order a new course and get new content off the ministry, or we could just visit the OERB and get that content. But if you're interested in saving it as another file, then you're more than welcome to do that. So we've made our changes. I'm going to go back here. We'll just do a quick student view here. Just click over to your name, and we'll go to student view. Give it a minute. We're in student view. It's going to populate the content browser now. And there it is, Unit 1. Content 1. And here are our changes. Right. So the changes have been made. Okay. And that's it. And that's how to go in, select your content, edit it, make your changes, and save it. Alright. Thank you very much for watching episode 4, and we will see you in episode 5. Take care.